The year is 2112. Humanity has pushed beyond the cradle of Earth, establishing colonies on Mars and reaching for the stars. But the universe holds secrets best left undisturbed. This is the chilling tale of the Galactic Scorpion, a starship swallowed by darkness only to return changed. It began with a faint distress signal, a pulse rhythmic and strange, emanating from the very edge of charted space. The source? The Galactic Scorpion, a vessel lost 7 years prior, vanished without a trace during its maiden voyage. Now, a spectral echo from the void reawakened the nightmare. The signal, weak yet insistent, drew the attention of the International Space Agency. A rescue mission was assembled, a beacon of hope dispatched into the abyss. Their vessel, the Othello, a deep space cruiser, armed and prepared for the unknown. The crew, a mix of seasoned veterans and bright-eyed specialists, all united by a shared sense of duty and a gnawing apprehension. Their mission to answer the call to bring back survivors, to reclaim what was lost. Little did they know the abyss gazes back. The Othello, a marvel of engineering, cut through the black velvet of space, engines humming a constant reassurance. On board, Captain Miller, a man hardened by years of deep space exploration, studied the faint signal on his console. His face, weathered and etched with the memories of countless missions, held a stoic calm that belied the growing unease within him. He was joined by a diverse crew, each member an expert in their field. There was Dr. Weir, the mission's astrophysicist, her eyes alight with a mixture of scientific curiosity and trepidation. Lieutenant Commander Smith, the ship's security officer, his imposing frame radiating a quiet strength. And Dr. Alan Weir, the enigmatic creator of the Galactic Scorpion's revolutionary gravity drive, haunted by the ghosts of his creation. As they approached the signal's source, a tension thicker than the silence of space descended upon the crew. The faint pulse grew stronger, the rhythm becoming almost hypnotic, a siren's call pulling them towards the unknown. The crew exchanged uneasy glances, their faces illuminated by the cold blue glow of the ship's interior lights. The unknown stretched before them, a vast and indifferent abyss. The closer they got, the more palpable the silence became. The usual background hum of the ship, a constant companion, seemed to fade, replaced by a profound stillness that amplified every creak and groan of the vessel. It was as if space itself held its breath, waiting, watching. The Othello pressed onward, a lone vessel venturing into the heart of a mystery older than time itself. The Galactic Scorpion materialized on their sensors, a skeletal silhouette against the backdrop of infinity. A chill ran down Captain Miller's spine as he gazed upon the vessel. It was not merely adrift, but seemed to exude an aura of wrongness, a palpable sense of dread that clung to its cold, metallic skin. A boarding party was assembled, led by Miller and accompanied by Dr. Weir, his face pale and drawn, his eyes reflecting a mixture of fear and morbid fascination. As they traversed the docking tunnel and stepped inside the Galactic Scorpion, a profound silence greeted them. The air hung heavy, stale, and eerily cold. The silence was unnerving, absolute save for the echo of their own footsteps and the rasp of their breath in the stale air. The ship was a tomb, its corridors dark and deserted, lit only by the thin beams of their flashlights. Everywhere they looked, there were signs of chaos, overturned equipment, bloodstains smeared across the walls, and a pervasive sense of wrongness that sent shivers down their spines. The deeper they ventured, the more disturbing their discoveries became. They found a log recording, the visuals corrupted but the audio clear. What they heard was not a distress call, but a cacophony of screams and pleas for mercy, a chorus of agony that ended abruptly. The sound chilled them to the core, a stark reminder of the horror that had unfolded within these walls. The ship was a symphony of subtle horrors. The temperature fluctuated wildly, plunging from stifling heat to bone-chilling cold in an instant. Whispers seemed to emanate from the walls, faint and indistinct, yet laced with an undeniable tone of suffering. The crew, their initial apprehension escalating into full-blown fear, began to experience vivid hallucinations. Each crew member was haunted by their deepest fears, projected onto the canvas of the ship itself. Miller saw fleeting glimpses of his past. A mission gone wrong, the faces of those he couldn't save contorted in silent screams. Dr. Lee saw her family, their faces twisted in grotesque parodies, their voices warped into mocking laughter. The ship was a mirror, reflecting their deepest fears and amplifying them. The line between reality and nightmare blurred, the constant fear and paranoia gnawing at their sanity. Sleep offered no respite, only plagued by disturbing dreams, vivid nightmares that bled into their waking hours. The Galactic Scorpion was no longer just a ship, it was a sentient entity, toying with them, breaking them down one by one. The gravity drive, a marvel of engineering that allowed the Galactic Scorpion to fold space-time and travel vast distances, seemed to be the epicenter of the disturbances. Dr. Weir, his eyes now filled with a manic energy, became fixated on the drive, muttering to himself about seeing beyond the veil and the true nature of reality. His behavior, already erratic, took a turn for the worse, his obsession with the ship's secrets pushing him further down the rabbit hole of madness. Dr. Weir's fascination with the Galactic Scorpion morphed into a dangerous obsession. He became withdrawn, speaking in riddles and drawing strange symbols on any surface he could find. The hallucinations plaguing the crew intensified, their grip on reality slipping further with each passing hour. Driven by a force he couldn't comprehend, Weir made his way to the heart of the ship, the gravity drive chamber. The massive device hummed with an unnatural energy, a swirling vortex of light that seemed to beckon him closer. He reached out, his hand trembling, and touched the shimmering surface. A surge of power coursed through him, a rush of information flooding his mind. He saw visions of a place beyond human comprehension, a realm of pure chaos and unimaginable horror. The Galactic Scorpion, he realized, had not merely traveled through space, but had pierced the veil of reality itself, venturing into a dimension not meant for human eyes. The experience shattered his sanity. He ripped off his clothes and carved cryptic symbols into his own flesh, his screams echoing through the desolate corridors of the ship. The crew, alerted by the commotion, arrived to find Weir a gibbering wreck, his eyes wide with terror, his words a string of incoherent babble. They had lost him, his mind consumed by the very forces he sought to understand. With Weir lost to madness and the ship spiraling deeper into chaos, Captain Miller made the difficult decision to abandon the Othello. They had recovered the ship's black box, hoping it held some clue to the horrors that unfolded, but as they prepared to evacuate, a terrifying realization dawned on them. The gravity drive, now pulsating erratically, activated once more, but instead of returning them to known space, it trapped them in a horrifying recursive loop. They found themselves reliving the same events, their attempts to escape thwarted at every turn. The ship, it seemed, had become their prison, a purgatory of their own making. Days blurred into nights, and each loop brought new horrors. The hallucinations intensified, becoming indistinguishable from reality. Hope, once a flickering flame, dwindled with each failed attempt to break free. The crew, their minds frayed, their spirits broken, began to turn on each other, their fear giving birth to paranoia and violence. They were adrift not only in space but in time itself, caught in a repeating nightmare orchestrated by the sentient ship. The Othello, it seemed, had developed a taste for their terror, feeding off their despair. The line between life and death, sanity and madness blurred into oblivion.